happy when there's no one left?
How can I be happy without my friends, without my father, without the girl I love?
As one of the most favored heroes in the series, we are surprised as fans to learn the truth about Adrien and his upbringing. Although we have always known his life wasn't one to envy, we quickly realize how different the boy's life is after learning the truth from Felix. With Sentimosnters being one of the most dangerous villains he and Ladybug fought against, we can only expect that the truth will not go over well with him. In today's video, we're going to explain what we expect to see of Adrien when the day comes that he finds out that the Peacock Miraculous is what made him.
Adrien, I think we got it. Flag, claws out!
Number 1. The Return of Cat Blanc. As one of the more serious episodes in Season 3, the episode Cat Blanc shows an akumatized Adrien fed up with his inability to choose his future and therefore allowing himself to be akumatized. Losing Marinette was all he needed to completely lose himself and give in to the dangerous powers of his Miraculous while under the control of the Butterfly Miraculous. With their world an empty and sad place, it's no wonder Marinette is so upset when she returns home. Knowing that even something as simple as losing the person he loved turned him into a villain, we can only assume realizing the truth about his life would elicit the same response in him. Allowing himself to be overwhelmed by sadness and anger, there's no limit to what Adrien could do if he became too upset. This makes Felix telling his cousin the truth much more dangerous than we would have expected. Although Adrien needs to know the way Kagami does, the possible aftermath of what this could mean for the future of Adrien is dangerous. Even if we know Adrien only reacted this way because he felt he had no power to control his life, learning that he suddenly has complete control could still be too much for him to bear. With all of this in mind, the best way for Felix or Kagami to break the news to the boy would be very gently and with careful consideration to keep the world as they know it safe.
Milady? I thought I'd lost you. Oh, I was feline so sad that you were gone.
Number 2. Adrien breaking up with Marinette. Even as we see Marinette and Adrien continuously become happier after officially becoming a couple in transmission, we also know the weight on both of their shoulders since dating each other. Trying to maintain their personal lives and their lives as heroes is hard, and although they haven't found a reason to leave each other since then, we can assume hearing the news about how Adrien came to be would be enough to make him give up the only person he's ever loved. This would be the case not because he would stop caring about her, but because he would feel ashamed to let Marinette be with someone like himself. Knowing only the bad parts of Sentimosnters, we can assume Adrien would no longer think of himself as worthy of anyone's love. We, of course, know this to be untrue and that even with Felix revealing himself as a Sentimonster, it doesn't change anything about him. Unfortunately, after this, it would take Adrien longer to come to terms with everything, feeling a pang of guilt for who he truly is and being ashamed as well. Breaking up with Marinette would not solve any of his problems, of course, and if anything, this would only make him feel even more alone. As one of the closest people to him now, Marinette might be the only one capable of convincing him he's still worthy of her love. We can only hope she can change his mind about this since, for 5 seasons now, we've anticipated a relationship between the two.
I'll always be a failure, living a lie, never succeeding in what I set out to do.
I don't care, Marinette. I love you just the way you are.
Number 3. Adrien giving up his Miraculous. As we have seen multiple times throughout the show, when Adrien feels unworthy of the Miraculous of the cat, he quickly gives up his Miraculous. We see this in Kuroniko when he feels unseen by Ladybug and decides she no longer needs him. This is a regular occurrence throughout the rest of the season, feeling unworthy and unheard for a while, even after getting Plagg back. We also see him give his Miraculous up in transmission since he wants to pursue a relationship with Marinette but feels obligated to stay a hero instead. Considering all of this, it only makes sense after finding out he was a Sentimonster, the very things he and Ladybug fight against, he would no longer feel worthy of the Miraculous again. Feeling like something is wrong with him from then on, Adrien wouldn't want to risk allowing himself to keep his Miraculous in fear of using it for evil the same way other Sentimonsters had. Of course, we know this to be untrue as we see Felix use Dusu through the end of Season 5 while becoming a hero. If he could use his Miraculous for good, then so could Adrien, and hopefully with the rest of the heroes there for him, they could convince Plagg to return to his past holder.
I just can't do this anymore. I give up on everything. Even you.
You can't do that!
Number 4. Adrien becoming closer to Felix and Kagami. After learning the truth about herself in Pretension, Kagami joins forces with Felix to fight back against her mother and Gabriel, not only to set herself free, but also Adrien. Once the secrets come out, the two people who understand what he's feeling best are Kagami and Felix. Being Sentimosnters themselves means the pressures put on them and the abuse all of them have gone through only brings them all closer together. In the same way Kagami was confused, we can assume Adrien would likely feel the same way, and the only people capable of answering his questions, even with his life seemingly getting a fresh start and him gaining healthier relationships with the people in his life, as seen in Recreation, it seems no one has told him the truth. This could mean even with Natalie looking after Adrien and caring for him, he would still be upset the same way Felix and Kagami are with their parents' lies. Becoming closer to the two would strengthen his relationship with his family while also giving him more people who understand who Adrien is behind the famous lifestyle we have always seen him being forced into living.
You have the Miraculous of the Peacock. Why don't you create a Sentimonster to get us out of here?
First of all, don't call them that.
Number 5. Adrien pushing away the rest of his friends. In the same way Adrien would likely break up with Marinette because of his feelings of embarrassment and unworthiness, we can assume he'd push the other people in his life away as well. Although his friends care a great deal about him, they don't truly understand what he's going through, making feelings of isolation even worse around them. In the same way Adrien gives up his Miraculous when he feels unworthy of it, he would also be quick to push away his friends when he feels unworthy of their friendship. Hopefully, since the people around him have always been there no matter what, even after finding out, they will all be able to come together to help their friend feel better after this unwanted news. Once he can come to terms with the reality of his life growing up and his future, it will make Adrien not only a stronger person, but also a better hero and one who understands everyone all of the time. Although he doesn't know it, all of his friends are the same people who fight by his side every time they go to protect Paris. This means that since they've all defeated Sentimonsters before, they also understand that the people made from the Miraculous of the Peacock do not have control over what they have to do. If anything, his friends learning the truth about him would help them make sense of why, even when he never wanted to leave them, Adrien was always forced to follow his father's directions and could never defy him when told to stay away from them. This would not only strengthen the bond between them, but it would also help them talk to him about everything they have been through together.
Don't worry, Julika. We're not gonna treat her differently or anything like that.
Rose will never know that you told us.
With the truth about him being so hard to swallow, it only makes sense for Adrien to react poorly to learning what he is. From giving up his Miraculous to pushing away his friends, we can expect him to take time for himself to accept this unfortunate reality. However, once he can come to terms with the news, we know that being a Sentimonster will only make Adrien a better and stronger hero. We can only hope that once the truth comes out, Adrien will continue his life the way he wants while finding his freedom along the way. With friends and Natalie there to care for him, Adrien can undoubtedly push through finding out the truth and grow from it.
I think Marinette and I will be more comfortable talking alone.
But I'd rather stay here with Marinette.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
Just because I know her secret identity doesn't mean she has to know about mine. Everything will be just fine. I promise.